is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit that brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world.
My brother was 20 years old, and about a year before he actually made his final decision of his life, he voiced his thoughts to me of suicide. And I was afraid, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know about any programs that were available. So I called my dad, and I asked him to help me watch him, help me keep an eye on him, help me to never leave him alone, because we need to be there for him. So what we did was we said, okay, we're going to do that, and we put him in therapy, and I believe he went through it for about a year. I never really talked to him about it, I think because I was afraid to. And there's a stigma around suicide that I think people, they shy away from talking about it because of the stigma, because they don't want to be associated with it, or because of the shame that sometimes comes along with it.
My friend's name is Jean. We spent every day together. We shared goals and dreams and wishes and thoughts and plans for the next day, and even plans for years ahead. We were inseparable. But on August 26, 2006, 3 years ago, I woke up on what I thought would be a normal Saturday. But on the very same night, I went to bed with one less friend in my life. I lost her to suicide. She took her life while I was on the phone with her, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You see, I was trained for all of this. I was trained to see signs of depression, but I didn't know she was depressed. I still can't talk about every single thing or every little detail of that day, but today's another step, a second step for me, an added chapter to this journey. And I just want to say and encourage all of you to make the choice to value your life, because I promise that at the end of every darkness, there will be light.
I'm not just a mother. That's the most important to me. But I was an educator. I was a teacher. I was a guidance counselor and a school principal. And currently, I am a senator at the Guam legislature. It's not an easy topic to talk about. I mean, you've heard the other panelists talk about it, and it's very recent for some of them. Mine's 12 years ago, and it's just like talking like it just happened yesterday. And you think that with time, this saying that time heals everything, and for the most part it does, until we start to talk about it. I remembered my daughter one time telling me that because I wasn't eating, of course, I wasn't resting, and I lost so much weight, and they were worried. Then I had an incident where I needed to go to, the clinic on an emergency, and my daughter was watching me laying there so thin and so frail, and when I finally spoke with her, when I woke up, she said, she was crying, and she said, if anything happens to you, Mom, my brother and my sister and I will be orphans. So naturally, things changed for me. And everything had to be focused now on my children, helping them through the grieving process. Because then it was no longer about me, it was them. And what I do and how I help them through would determine exactly what my children's life will be like today. So I knew it was incumbent upon me that I needed to get over this as quick as I could so I could help my children. And you know, it's hard for you to see this when you're really suffering, when we say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because it's by nature of your youth that, you know, you live for the day and you can't see tomorrow. So you think what you're going through, that there is no tomorrow, but there is. And that's why I share with you that law of nature, that every time, no matter what, after winter, there will be spring.
Sometimes in this life, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, or I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Yeah. Well, I need you to lean on.
On Monday mornings, I drag my lazy butt out of bed and prep my head for another day without a dollar. Wrap my words in compassion to create scholars out of students hungry enough to meet me in the middle. And then there's Lawrence, 5'6", about 190 pounds plus the weight of the world on his back. He looks a lot bigger than he is. The other kids either fear him or respect him. He is like family I've never met. A long-lost relative divided by opportunities. He is proud. A descendant of warriors, thick flesh wraps wide palms and flat knuckles to form fists fit for breaking, but when open, they offer gentle security. He is a walking contradiction just like me, and I hate the similarity. It makes me feel weak and incompetent. I know that he was sent to me for a reason, but sometimes I still question my ability to teach. Some days I preach hysterically and wonder why no one listens. But what I do know is that someone stood up for me so that I could return the favor. Because if no one ever taught me how to stand up for myself like I had a forest fire underneath my backside, I would have stopped, dropped, rolled over, and died a long time ago. So Lawrence, I may not be the role model that you need, but I will carry you barefoot across the desert in search of a heater, because I am more than just your teacher. I am family, and you are not heavy. You are my brother.